I'm Richard, generally go by Rich. So I'm 34 years old and I'm a GP in Nottingham. So I'm originally from Halifax in West Yorkshire, and I moved down to Nottingham for medical school in 2007. And I finished my medical school training there and did my junior doctor work in Mansfield and Derby, and qualified as a GP in 2017. And I've been a GP since, working in and around Nottingham. So I first heard about non-directed altruistic kidney donation in 2017 in a book. It was a book about economics by a Nobel laureate called Alvin Roth. I think the book was called Who Gets What and Why. And he was talking about different types of markets, and in particular matching markets. This was the first time I came across kidney donation to strangers, and it was in an American context. And it just sparked my interest. I found it quite unusual that I was in the medical profession myself and didn't know about this until I came across it in an economics book. And when I looked it up online on the NHS website and found that we have a similar scheme in the UK, and indeed we have for a few years now. I just qualified as a GP and I had a new job and wanted to get settled into the profession. But it never disappeared. It was always in the back of my mind. It was something that for some reason I was just compelled towards doing. Right from the moment when I discovered it in the economics book, it struck me as something that was, I was amazed that I hadn't heard about it before and that I didn't know anybody who had done anything like that. And for some reason, it just struck me like this is something that will feature in my life at some point. And maybe now is not the right time because of the new job. And then 2 years later, when I felt more settled into my clinical role, it just became more of an appropriate time for me to go ahead. So I made contact with the donation team at the local hospital, Nottingham City Hospital. And I said, I've thought about it for 2 years now, and I've spoken to lots of friends and loved ones about it, and it seems like it's something that I want to proceed with. And so, that's when appointments were made and investigations were booked, and it went from there. And then after I returned to the UK from Ukraine, that's when I asked them to continue with the build-up. And I was put into a matching run and matched in an altruistic donor chain with 3 recipients. And leading up to the operation, I had some more blood tests, met with the surgeon again, met with the anaesthetist for a pre-op assessment. And I've been able to get out on walks every day, going uphill, gradually increasing the speed and the distance that I walk with. And I think that not only helps with controlling the pain, but it helps get rid of the swollen abdomen. It brings the swelling down quite nicely. In recent weeks leading up to the operation, I was quite keen to proceed and almost excited to just do this thing because I've been wanting to do it for so long. And now that it's happened, it feels quite normal. And I certainly don't feel like a different person. I feel very satisfied that I've finally done this thing. And I was lucky enough to match into an altruistic donor chain of 3 people. And we've heard from the hospitals in which the recipients had their donations that they're doing very well, and that's the only reason that I decided to do this in the first place. And that obviously brings an immense feeling of satisfaction that those people, whoever they are, no longer need dialysis 3 times a week, and they can hopefully go about their lives in the way that they they would do whatever that involves for them. And that brings me, a great sense of satisfaction. But beyond that, I feel just like I used to. Certainly doesn't feel like a big thing to me. People have said things like you're very brave or very generous, but it certainly doesn't. This just doesn't feel like anything unusual to me. And I think that's a part of the message that I want to put out there, which is I'm a 34-year-old guy. I'm pretty normal. And, I like football. I've got friends, got girlfriends. I'm a normal guy. And this is something that a lot of people might, once they discover it's something they can do, they might realise that maybe that is something that they want to do in their own lives as well. I'd say that altruistic kidney donation is a big deal, but a temporary big deal. And it's something that normal people just like me can do in a section of their lives. And it can bring a huge amount of benefit to the people that receive the kidney and all their friends, family and loved one. So you don't need to be a superhero. You don't need to be a megastar of any sort. This is potentially available to a large number of people, and I recommend that people think whether or not it's something that they can incorporate into their own lives.